I've gotten the opportunity to speak to over 15 best graduating students, and one of the things that they do say,
my brain could not even comprehend much. And so like we now had, I think we had an exam on Tuesday, and by Saturday I was still that sick. Hey Jesus, how am I going to do it?
if we could go back to your 100 level, what would you do differently? If
you asked only for my CGPA, my 100 level. My 200 level, my CGPA actually dropped. I went to like a 4.0. Oh,
power, you sound like a motivational speaker. I would love to know, Nancy, what has been your success secret on this journey? Would you mind listing out all the achievements that you came out with as the best graduate student?
All the achievements. Well,
Yeah.
I'll try to list as many as I'll try to list the ones I can remember.
Okay.
GPA in my department in 400 level, 300 level as well, maintaining a first class from 100 level and 200 level. In my 200 level, I was given an outstanding service award for joining a department in church, ushering department, and I think prayer as well. In my 300 level, same as well. In my 400 level for the HOD of ushering departments for Sabbath school as well. Also because I was also Sabbath school, I got an award for participating and basically take my department shuttle. I won second place in a debate competition in like within the school interdepartmental debate, also for a debate in church as well for creative work in regards to joining a theater art production. Then most of them just circle around academic, the work of God, and just creativity.
My goodness. Award back to back. Only you. I would love to be like you when I grow up. Thank you so much. Now, the Nigerian students would love to know your name, the course of study, your course of study, and your school, the school you graduated from.
Okay, so my name is Nancy Mbamalu. I studied mass communication from Babcock University.
Power. Out of all courses that you would have studied and enjoyed, why mass comm?
Because every other thing revolves around mass comm. If you look at it, medicine needs media. Every other thing needs media in order for them to thrive. So being at the center of where every other lifeline is truth. Even the government, you're able to hold the government in power. Because I believe perhaps if I did not go into media aspects, maybe I would have gone into, I don't know what else I would have gone into, because like it just suits my passion and who I want to become as well. So I've always loved the media space. I've always loved speaking, communicating, and things like that. Journalism, and just seeing how things unfold, and also holding people accountable as well. So, and leading as well. So yes.
Wow. You mentioned the point that I truly, truly love, that is communication. And that is, I never studied mass communication. I studied mechanical engineering. But thank you so much for your response. I am a student of communication, and I've been studying quite a while now, spending time consuming materials from my own, I love calling him my father. Sometimes I call him my mentor, John C. Maxwell. I believe you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I consume a lot of materials from him just to understand communication from his standpoint. And whilst I, go through other materials. But I would love to know, I've been following your journey for a while now on LinkedIn. And even from what you listed up, your list of achievements, in as much as I know what you just gave us was just a smidgen. You didn't open the files to dish out all the wonderful things that you bagged out with. I would love to know. I know you're a believer, and one of the things about believers is that if they ask them what's their success secret, they will first of all tell you grace, and I'll tell you God. Now we understand that grace has been made sufficient to us all. I would love to know, Nancy, what has been your success secret on this journey?
Well, I will still say grace and God, honestly.
The
I
move
thank God for everything that
grace
He
day
has made
first.
me to be
Grace
and
day.
everything like that. Yes, yes. Now, on to the things that God, gave me the strength to do. Definitely to, I think, working hard, honestly, because like working hard always pays. It pays in the sense that, it's one of, Bible literally says that God is a rewarder as well. So like, if you do things, eventually you would have something. If you're in the examination hall, you're trying to remember something you never read, it cannot work. It cannot work. Where do you want to get the answer from? So consistently working hard towards that goal or purpose literally, and sacrifice. So sacrificing your time, your sleep, and some events that may not be necessary as well. So you just focus that, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'll do it, and this is how I'll go about it as well. And I'm also grateful because I also had people around me as well that were of like mind. So we're inspiring each other as well. So maybe if I want to fall back a little, my friend can just be like, Nancy, have you read? And I'm like, oh, and she wake me up, oh, go and read your books. So it was also like a partnership as well. So yes, thank God for that.
Wow. Whilst I was listening to you, what came to my mind is systems. Yes. You had a system that ensured that you were actually, moving forward. You mentioned about sacrifice. I could remember John Maxwell once said something about sacrifice, and he said it in this line that leaders give up to go up. So I believe there are things that you gave up just for you to ascend and get all these achievements. In as much as I know you never aimed for the achievement, you just wanted to be the best for yourself. You mentioned about sacrifice. What was the biggest sacrifice you ever did on this journey?
The biggest sacrifice I ever made. I think the biggest sacrifice I ever made, probably the sacrifice of sleep. Probably the sacrifice of sleep, because like you just of course as well time as well, in the sense that okay, sleep and time go hand in hand, because the time you use to sleep you will not use it to do things that are also going to be productive as well. But also sacrifice of social media. I know that there are some points where I just delete my Instagram, delete TikTok. Well, I'm not active on TikTok, but even if I had the app, I just ensure I remove it and I just try to go offline so that I can focus a lot on what I have to do and just ensure I'm not distracted as well. So yeah, sacrificing myself, because there are nights where maybe you sleep by 1, you sleep by 2, wake up by 5, by 6, you continue, you repeat, wash and repeat.
It's it's really not easy, being the best. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It's really not easy being the best, because one thing, I've gotten the opportunity to speak to over 15 best graduating students, and one of the things that they do say is sacrifice. It takes a whole lot, you know. It takes a whole lot. But then I would love to know, from one of the things I also appreciate about you is that from all your content, you are someone that have a lot of introspection. You always review your life, think about your life, think about your journey, and extract lessons that has been keeping you all the while. So I would love to know, from your own understanding, what makes Nancy Amaka unique?
What makes me unique? I think what makes me unique, of course, I make me unique. Like the fact that there is no other person like me is enough to make me unique. Like
Mm,
I'm the only Nancy Mbamalu Amaka. And even if there is one that bears my name, but there is no one that is just like me. So you don't speak like me, you don't think like me, you don't act like me. And I think that makes me unique. Of course, like by God, because that God created me to be like this as well. So I think that's what makes the fact that I am me makes me unique. There is no other thing externally that can make me more unique than I already am.
mm. Power. You sound like a motivational speaker. If not that I've listened to your content on LinkedIn, and I hear your speech, what makes me unique is just the fact that I'm me and God created me this way. I'll be like, forget it. These are motivational speakers. Coming from someone that I've kind of paid attention to your little journey that you shared with us on LinkedIn, I must say one of the things that comes to my mind right now is um, understanding yourself. You've kind of paid attention to your journey to value yourself, appreciate God, how God has so much designed you and modeled you. That is one thing that we kind of lack in our generation and our time. A lot of persons want to be like other persons. In as much as, yes, we can glean to be like them, inspire, but first of all, understand yourself. But thank you so much for drawing that to my attention. So I would love us to, go down to your journey when you are in school at Babcock University. So if we could go back to your 100 level, what would you do differently? If you could go back to your 100 level, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I would focus more on my academics, because like I think part of the things I also shared on my LinkedIn is the fact that like I never really planned to do this. Like I perhaps not planned. I also did not know I could do this well in my academics. So I just came in and I was like, whoa, let's just do and graduate and go. It was until I got to my 300 level. 300 level, like second semester, first semester was when I now started striving for more, not even to become the best. It was actually my second semester, 300 level, 400 level, that I really strived, okay, let's actually get this. In a while, of course, we thank God for grace, but it's kind of already late. Imagine I started building from my 100 level. Like, my CGPA would have, maybe I would have gotten like a 4.98 or something as my, you know, yeah, so I can do more as well. So if I could go back to my 100 level, like I would also do more as well. I think I would also take my relationship with God more seriously. Of course, like God met me when God met me, but I felt like if I knew God more, a lot of the identity crisis, many issues I was going through my 100 level, it wouldn't have been that many, because if you're going through identity crisis, you cannot focus completely on your academics. It's going to affect other aspects of your lives as well. So I would also like just ensure that, and also like also build meaningful relationships. I mean, it's not cruise and go, like the ones that would actually be with you, you know, for the rest of, even beyond school, the ones that you can say, okay, this is my friend that I value, my network and everything like that. Yes.
So you mentioned that if you got the opportunity to travel back in time to meet the Nancy Amaka of 100 level, you tell her to focus more on building your academic life. Make sure you work your relationship with God and make sure you are diligent in that work and try to build strategic and quality relationships. Three things.
Yes.
Wow, I would
Yes.
love to be like when I grow up. And it's quite similar to mine. When I entered 100 level, I wasn't a believer. Let me be honest. I was a Christian, but I won't call myself a Christian. I was a church goer per se. Or God met me, in my journey. Joined the fellowship, started serving in the fellowship, started finding my faith, and glory be to God. This is how God has, brought us thus far. So now, there is one thing that has been on my mind to ask you. First of all, before I get into that, you mentioned about you wanting to work more on your academics in your 100 level if you got the opportunity to meet your 100 level version. What was your first CGPA in school?
4.5.
That's first semester. Second
Yes.
semester was what?
4.66.
Power. So you upgraded with 2.66. Okay, 1.68. But now you graduated with which CGPA?
8.
My
It's
goodness.
4.73. No, it's 4.73. I don't even remember why. 4.7 something. I don't know. It's been it since I checked my CGPA, but it's 4.7 something, maybe 3.6 thereabouts. Maybe I can confirm.
Wow, it takes a whole lot of strength, to maintain and keep on holding to graduate with such an amazing result. All right, now leading me to my question. This has been a question that I often ask a whole lot of best graduating students because I see you people as persons that kind of understand this journey well. So, what do you think is the biggest lie Nigerian students believe about success in school?
I think that you cannot do it alone, like in the sense that I think you cannot do it alone. And number two, like, don't kill yourself. Of course, I'm not saying you should kill yourself, but when you say don't kill yourself, you're also trying to say, oh, don't stretch yourself. Don't try to do a lot. The truth, if you do a lot, you will get a lot. And, it's just, the law of reap and sow and reap. Exactly. So that, and also that you cannot do it alone, that when I mean alone, I mean by you cannot work hard and then maybe, go into the exam and not talk to somebody else or not, do practice or anything like that. I feel like, no, it's a big lie. You can go into the examination hall, write all 4 years and not talk to any single body and still come out very good.
That's quite a mindset for me. One of the things I kind of notice is that if you observe persons that want to do exam malpractice, they graduate not believing in their capacity,
Mm-hmm.
not believing that they can do it themselves. So that design has so much framed their mindsets of depending in people for success, depending in factors for success. And whenever I listen to people that always communicate, I believe in my faith, I don't do exam malpractice. If you see that the kind of life, they believe that it is them and God alone. So it is one
Exactly.
thing that Nigerian students really need to understand that one, let's kill this mindset of depending on people. In my school, we call it men I trust. You enter the exam hall, you have your kate and your formation. Once you look back, Alpha will be behind the V now, that kind of thing. But when you are preparing, knowing fully well that it is you and God alone, you give it your best. And whatever comes your way as a result, you know that you merited it as God granted you grace. So now I would love to get much more personal, if you don't mind me. Can you tell me about, or can you tell us about a time that you almost gave up?
The time I almost gave up. I think, well, before my CGPA, okay, you asked only for my CGPA, my 100 level. My 200
Mm.
level, my CGPA actually dropped. I
Eh,
went to like a 4.0. Yes, my CGPA actually dropped. So like having to now rebuild and come up again. So the point in which I almost gave up, perhaps is maybe during that period, like I did not almost again because I did not aim so high. The only thing I could have given up on was perhaps like graduating with a first class. But I just said, well, I just have to work even harder and just go more at this thing, focus, laser focus and everything like that. And then in my 300 first semester, like I had straight A's and I was like, wait till I can do this thing. No, no, no going back. Like we have to continue on that. So I don't think, of course, there were also points maybe like when I was sick, I was just tired. There was just a lot of work on my shoulders. But I think that's where, you know, grace and people come in. So every time I feel like I can't do it again, I'm already ready to stop. Like maybe I'm at that point, I'm already crying, I'm ranting and everything like that. After I pray, I also like try to speak to somebody about it, just like get comfort and just a little words of encouragement here and there, like, and then sometimes I speak to the person and then the person even leads me into prayer as well. But sometimes just, letting people in doing that space like, oh yeah, I don't think I'm okay and I cannot do this by myself. So the person is now checking up on, oh, how are you doing? Rest, eat. I think there's a way love has a way of, strengthening you. And just like, yes, yes, yes. I don't have to, I'm not on my own completely. I am not alone. So you just feel more empowered to continue. So the person is holding your hand. Oh, yeah, let's go and read together. Let's go and eat together. Have you eaten today? So that kind of a thing. And definitely, prayer as well, because you just feel more strengthened. Of course, I also remember there was also a time when during that period when I fell sick as well. It was before my 300 level. I'm not sure if it's my first semester or my second semester, but I think it's my first semester. During my exam period, when I was really striving for a lot, I just felt sick. Like the sickness really held me down. Like I took injection twice in one day and like I was shaking. Like it was very bad. And because like we usually have like maybe like few days or 1 week at least to before the exam. So like people use that time to stack up to read a lot, but I
mm,
couldn't even read because I was struggling the medicine, the injection, everything was making me dizzy, sleepy. So I'm sleeping or I'm waking up. My brain could not even comprehend much. And so like I think we had an exam on Tuesday and by Saturday, I was still that sick. Hey, Jesus, how am I going to do it? I remember I think I went to a church that day. I went to my friend's church. I went there. They were having one worship experience. I cried there. I was weeping. I think maybe my friend and I eventually came to look at me like, Nancy, what's happened to you and everything like that. Aside the fact that because I was also doing group work at that time, my group members were not helping as well. So I was carrying all of that by myself. And you guys don't care. And like me, I care about my marks a lot. So it was just during that period. So I just cried. And because like I was in the presence of God and I was also with my friends as well. So they were also hugging me. Oh, Nancy's okay. Take it. Oh, come on. Just so they also encouraging me. And I just felt like the presence of God was just enough to lift that burden. And eventually, one day I started feeling well. Monday I got into reading, and my results, we thank God.
power. That's quite a story. That's quite a story. The thing is, from your journey, what I see is actually a lady that is quite totally dependent on God and God's help. And it's one thing I truly, truly admire. It's not just a religious act. It's about your quality relationship with God. Okay, now, because of our time, we just have two questions for you, just to understand your
Okay.
journey. And if you don't mind us asking, now we would love to start with this. What's the difference between how you saw school in your 100 level versus now?
So in my 100 level, I just saw school as a means to get a degree. Like, perhaps like a degree that everybody's always talking about, like a degree to get a job, a degree to just do something with your life. But right now, I see school as a web of opportunity to make money, to meet new people, to build yourself. Because if I knew before I entered that school that I can make money, like proper money, I would have become wiser. Maybe that's one thing that I wish I did. Like, I wish I honed my skills so much more that I was able to do that as well. But, no regrets, honestly. I don't have any regrets in regards to my school. But yes, as a web of opportunity, honestly, to be able to connect with more people, to build yourself. And because like you don't get freer after school. So to also enjoy, I'm not saying become complacent about your life, but go out, maybe watch a movie once in a while, not at the risks of your academics, so but like watch a movie once in a while, go for a walk, spend time with your friends, make memories, take pictures, create content because it's not going to be forever. So I see school, before I finally graduated, I used to look forward to going to school. Of course, not the school stress, but because of like the entire environment, the people. So it was just school was school. School is fun and lovely too.
School is fun. And there is one thing you mentioned, make content. That is one thing I never did. I was this quiet, focused guy, and I would call myself a serious guy. But then it was when I graduated and I looked back and then I didn't have much more memories, I mean, recorded memories to reflect on. And it's one thing that we students need to also start doing now. Thank you. So now there is this proverb that I quite love so much well. And I believe you also know the proverb. That is, in all things, get understanding. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
What has school helped you understand? Sorry.
Well, school has helped me to understand life and the importance of like people and God, as well as, hard work, diligence, excellence, doing things well, regardless of whether people are commending you or not, being willing to help others as well, willing to work. Yes.
Wow. Hard work, diligence, and helping people. And it's one of the things, well, one of the advantage that the environment helps us to build on. So when people hear school, they see it's university hype. No, I see it as an environment, or better still, an ecosystem where education is the content, but the ecosystem, which is the school, that's the container where you get the education, the formal education. Thank you so, so much for your time, Nancy. I learned a lot from this conversation. Well, we believe you got value from this conversation. Now, what is one thing you learned from this episode? Please let us know in the comment section. Thank you and see you on Monday.